Hey, it's Rob. So I had my technical interview today and I'm in. I made it into Flatiron School. So, um, quick overview about the whole experience. I thought it was really smooth. Going to a boot camp and, changing your whole career track, that's a really stressful thing to have to do. And also just picking up the language, trying to learn as much as you can before you apply. So, I just wanted to thank the staff at Flatiron School and admissions and the instructor who did the technical interview. They were really transparent and quick with their communications. Like I got a response immediately right after my phone screen, and then with the technical interview, I had a acceptance email within an hour and a half to 2 hours. So on the same day, that was really like that's as smooth as it could be, and it just helped lower the amount of stress that goes into the whole process. So I thought that was really good on Flatiron School's behalf. Um, so other things I could talk about. My application stood out a little bit because I decided to do something a little different for the tell me about yourself section. Like they asked for an essay. What I did instead was I created a little JavaScript HTML/CSS web app to kind of tell my story. And I think that helped me stand out a lot because they referred to that little project both times while I was interviewing, and they were just really excited about it. And overall, I learned while I was working on the app, so it was just a good thing to have under my belt going into the interviews. But let me just screen share that with you so you get a better picture of what I'm talking about. All right, so this is the little web app that I made. It's really simple. It's really basic HTML, CSS, and the JavaScript is really just the buttons, like these buttons. It's really nothing too complicated. The only thing that really took some like work was figuring out how to hide and show the buttons whenever I interacted with the page. So like if I click that, then I have to hide that and show this. But it's not really that difficult altogether. For a newbie like me, it took me a day and a half. That's including writing out the whole story, and like this includes my whole life story as condensed as I could make it. So the idea was to make it more interactive. So instead of just me telling, it was kind of like I would ask a question, and it'll involve as much as one-way dialogue goes. Yeah, but so I think this really helped with my admission process. And the other thing that I also did with my free time was I made improvements to the final project in the Flatiron's Bootcamp prep. It was a basic game called Rock Dodger. So I made some improvements to that, and I shared that with the admissions team as well. And I'll show you that too. So this is what the original project looks like. It's just things are going to drop, and you can do your you can move your dodger with the left and right arrow keys, and these rocks will just keep falling, and it'll keep going until it hits you. Then the game's over, and you just start over if you want to. Okay, and yeah, so that's how this works. And what I did was I changed some things around, made it just look more player friendly. Oh, I'll show you 1 second. Okay, so this is essentially the same game. Like I'm still just dodging rocks, moving left and right, but I don't know, I changed the dodger to make it look like a jet, so it's cooler. And added a background, there's music. There's this counter up here that's just keeping score of how many rocks I dodged, and so I'll just run it, and you just see for yourself. And oh yeah, so I changed the rocks to be the actual like the rock. Like raggy. Holy shit. It's impossible, dude. Yeah, so this was working on this project really like helped me understand JavaScript more because I had to work with things that I didn't know prior. for example, like where was it? Creating the timer. That was not in any of the stuff that I studied prior. I had to like Google and figure that out how that works, as well as the key press. I didn't really have to use that. Yeah, so doing this project really helped me like get more comfortable working with JavaScript, and it definitely helped me stand out uh, in the candidate pool for the application process. So if you have the time, yeah, I highly recommend doing something similar where you're just kind of improving upon the project that you're working on. So yeah, that was my experience applying to Flatiron School, and I hope that was helpful to you. And in the future videos, I'm gonna do more coding and just like all like beginner coding and just like share how I work through the problem. That will be with Code Wars or HackerRank. I might like switch between the two every now and then. And yeah, hope you found this enjoyable. And if you like this video, then subscribe, and I'll see you next week.